versus the Orville.
Hi, I'm a random Dutchman on the internet and you probably shouldn't listen to me, but let's talk about the Orville. But first and foremost, let's talk about Star Trek. When I was a little kid, my mum used to take me with her and several of my brothers to go see my nan in the retirement home, and this is not a bad thing. And usually we went on Saturdays, and on Saturday afternoons at about 5 p.m. in Holland, in the Netherlands at the very least, we used to see Star Trek The Next Generation, because one of my older brothers, he's a huge fat nerd. Well, fine, okay, I too am a huge fat nerd, but he was one back then as well. And there's a connection here because Seth MacFarlane as well is a huge fat nerd. And I'm not saying this in a way like, oh, haha, let's all laugh at Seth MacFarlane because he live action roleplays sometimes and he knows what a D20 is. Because let's face it, on the internet a lot of us know both those things, and well, some of us might have even probably attempted one of those things as well. So Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek fan, and so am I. I continued watching Deep Space Nine, I kept along with Voyager, and gave Enterprise a shot, but you know, you can't have all winners all across the board. I went back to the original series, and I've seen every movie at least 3 times. By the way, Star Trek 3 is a good movie, and if you believe in the Star Trek movie curse and you call Star Trek 3 a bad movie, what's wrong with you? The Search for Spock is excellent. So, one day, Seth MacFarlane thought to himself, hey, do you know who needs a role in a Star Trek parody series? Seth MacFarlane. Which brought us the Orville, which aside from a giant bird in England coloured green for some reason, is also the name of the ship of the series. And it's okay, it's fine, it's just that, it's not remarkable in any way whatsoever. Right, I have to stipulate a couple of things. I'm not his biggest fan, but I'm not as offended by Seth MacFarlane as so many other people seem to be. Like Ted seemed to get a lot of hatred, but I quite like Ted. And everybody's always shitting on Family Guy, American Dad, and The Cleveland Show, saying they're one of the worst animated shows in history on TV right now. And I'm like, I can watch any of those series for one episode and I'll be like, yeah, fine. So that was a show and I watched it. Unfortunately for the Orville is that, you know how Family Guy has about like 3 kinds of jokes? You got something from your past, oh my god, Optimus Prime is Jewish. You got something over the top shocking like, I can't believe they just vomited over an hour and I'm still laughing at it. And you got something so awkward like, I scraped my knee and I'm going for about 5 minutes. I'm not saying that they don't do any other jokes, it's just that a lot of the core jokes of the series seem to boil down to exactly just that. Basically, all of the Orville is like scooping up a dead frog into a cardboard box. It's all the jokes of Family Guy of the awkward variety. There's nothing outrageous in it, there's nothing over the top in it, it's not even really parodying Star Trek. It's literally Star Trek, The Next Generation to be more specific, with awkward humour about ex-wives and people not liking each other and drinking sodas which they keep hidden underneath their desks. Seriously, the premise on the series is that Seth MacFarlane had a wife, Charlize Theron, and they broke up because Charlize cheated on him because he was never home, but they both worked for the same intergalactic organization, so it doesn't really make that much sense. So they end up on the same ship, and the first pilot episode they've released is about 50%, and I'm exaggerating, I know, ex-wife jokes, like my ex-wife this, my ex-wife that. and they have characters and they seem alright, like they could be funny, but it's like, oh, it's just Star Trek, but we're all down to earth people, salt of the earth, so we're not enlightened or anyway. We're drunk during work hours, which is hilarious apparently, but none of it clicked for me. And there's a typical warrior race, and there's a typical science gadget doo-ha, and they know exactly what to do with it, and that's the most damning thing about it. If you cut out all the weird, awkward humour, it's literally just a Star Trek plot without being clever about it. It's not satire, it's not parody, it's not even a sitcom. It's just a show about Star Trek, but not being Star Trek and not being all that funny. And they go out of their way so hard to stipulate, oh no, it's completely different because our shields are called deflectors and we're not the Federation, we're the Union. Don't bother with the Orville. I'm not saying it's the worst show you'll ever see. I'm not even saying it's the worst show you'll see this year. I'm not even saying it's a waste of time, but it's just, there's so much better stuff out there you could be watching. I mean, I think we're watching The Sopranos. I've never seen The Sopranos before in my life, and I'm just on season 6 at the moment, and it's like I'm halfway through, and like it's the last season, and I don't want it to end. I mean, come on. Right, so if you think I'm stupid and this was the most hilarious thing in the world, there's lots of social medias I have you can contact me through. Please send me all the death threats. I mean, I heard that guy that made Firewatch got a lot of death threats because he was smart enough to distance himself from some kind of a YouTuber who uses racial slurs online. But, you know, I could use some of those. Give me all the negative attention. Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and I've got another show up called TLDR, which is Two Losers Drunken Ramblings. Basically, it's me and one of my best mates, Stuarts, talking about random shit. This week, last Tuesday, we spoke about It, the movie. Normally I would do like one of these vlogs for you, but you know what? Every now and then I like to sit down, have a couple of beers and talk to my mates, don't you? So yes, click on that if you want to listen to us analyse the movie for about an hour, and if not, I'll make sure I'll make some other video content for you soon. See ya!